Fuck. Hey guys, what is up? Kevin Mason here, and I am in my closet right now because this is actually the quietest room and the most airtight room in the house. I'm not even kidding. If I stay long in here long enough, I could actually run out of oxygen, which is, it's mainly because it's an airtight room. So I better, fuck me, I swear to God, I swear to God, I think I have this camera set, but I don't. So I'm gonna just leave that door a little popped. I can feel the other room. It feels a lot colder than in here. Okay, so what? I actually don't want you guys to hear the music. Okay, so what happens is this. What is this? Why am I making this update? Well, I'll tell you damn why. Now, as you guys may or may not know, last night I released Neo vs. Detective Freeze Supernovae and Civil Conflict, which ends my part in the Supernova development for Supernovas 3, meaning that is the story that sets up Supernova 3, those 3 films. And I feel very lucky to have been in part of my own part in the Supernovas, giving in my direction, giving these characters fleshed out skeletons to make them actually appeal to people when Supernovas 3 drops. And by the way, thank you for one day giving me 25 views. Okay. Oh, by the way, thank you for right now. Not including the Versus movie because it was just released, but now every single movie that I have released as of now has for the Supernova trilogy has reached 100 views or over. Neo just hit 100 views. Detective Freeze is way over 100 views. And I'm glad to announce that the Versus movie is well on its way to 100 views as well. Okay, so here is this update. Here is what's announced. I'm sorry if I don't look on track. It's just that I've been dealing with a lot of issues. I have a lot of problems going on. I'm gonna probably make a private journal. You see, like, I had this private journal of everything on my blog channel, and it's private, of course, it's on private, but I like going back on it and looking at what I talk about, which is cool. Okay, so, that being said, Phase 2 is a new lineup for UltraSwagTime to release brand new cinematic universe films. Now, am I going to go right back into the cinematic universe as soon as January hits? No, I'm not. You see, here's the deal. Like I said before, I hate being attached to things for so long, and the cinematic universe happens to be one of them, even though it's my thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a month off. For all of January, I'm going to be focusing on more either other titles, original titles, or other people's titles. For example, Jailbroken Episode 6, the Assassin's Creed film, and either Kevin's film or Zombie Takeover Part 3. It's going to most likely be Zombie Takeover Part 3. And that's what I'm working on. But Phase 2. Phase 2 is going to start. Phase 1 of the cinematic universe was to introduce the characters of the Sonic Elite universe, which is, of course, as followed. Shady O'Malley, Miguel Escobar, Crater Storm, Neo, Detective Freeze, and Razor Shades. Those are the primary 6. And of course, we did release a number of side characters as well, but I'm just going for the main 6. There are some characters that we have to reveal sooner or later, but as of right now, these are the primary 6 that need to be known. So, what am I going to do? What is this update? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what this update is. It's to announce the lineup of Phase 2 films. That's right. Phase 2 is going to be kicking off the UltraSwagTime's part in the cinematic universe. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the first cinematic universe film of this year. I actually think that's going to be Jailbroken, Episode 6, finishing up that story. So, what are we going to be releasing? What is happening? Well, like I said, we're going to skip January. We're not going to go and release any films in January regarding the cinematic universe. I'm going to be making films, though. But in February, in late February, I am glad to announce that Neo, the second Neo installment, Neo on the Edge of Death, will be released. Neo on the Edge of Death is explained as the followed. It's, as I told you before, Neo is tied into the Edge of Death universe. Jaden's not going to make Supernovas 3, but I figured, hey, listen, I already told people what's going to happen next. I don't need to wait for another part. I'm just going to skip and go right into it because this is my own thing. This will take place 5 years after the events of Supernovas 3, but I'm going to try to tell it the best way I can without spoiling anything. And then whenever Supernovas 3 is released, I can start talking more about the mythology of Supernovas 3. Then in March, what are we going to be releasing? I am going to be releasing Detective Freeze 2, Detective Freeze Darkness Over Shadowcast. Darkness Over Shadowcast means this. Shadowcast is a villain, aka an assassin, that is hired by an unknown source to take down Detective Freeze. Well, that's not the real premise of the story. I mean, it is similar, but I mean, like, it's a little different. You'll see why. Then, to wrap things up, I want to let you guys know that these two characters are tied in together. I'd like to wrap it up by announcing Edge of Death 2, Edge of Death United. Edge of Death United is going to be the second installment into the Edge of Death universe with Razor Shades doing his thing. What's the guy's name? What's the character's name? Dallas West. Dallas West is going to be in that film, played by Jaden Sudeikis. And I think as a small cameo, Neo will appear in the film. Same goes for Detective Freeze. It's going to be basically a part one of the massive thing that's going to be going on in the Edge of Death world, because as you know, the mythology of Edge of Death is that the city is overrun by terrorism, and it's up to these guys to take these guys down, and that's the whole point of the film. But it's to unite everyone to stop one major threat. Edge of Death 3 is not going to be as epic, but I'd like to confirm that Edge of Death 3 is going to happen eventually, but just not in April when it's planned. We will develop a plan for them as soon as these films are out. And not only that, but these are just UltraSwagTime's first wave. We're going to be releasing 3. I have decided that I'm going to be releasing 3 movies every quarter. That means for the first 4 months, 4, 8, 12. No, not quarters, but every 3 parts, there's going to be 3 films. These are the first lineups. There are 3 other lineups, and then at the end of the year, there's going to be another line of lineups. And that's going to wrap up 2015 lineups. But this is just from me, guys. I mean, like, this is just my schedule. You do realize that Jaden's still making uplinks whenever he wants. He's still going to be making Supernova whenever he wants. Miguel's releasing Jailbroken in the beginning of the year. We have so many other properties that we gotta tell, and the mythology and stories of these characters will shock you. Now where we're gonna go. Oh, by the way, Neo 2 is going to be a prequel to Edge of Death. It's going to explain the origins. Then Detective Freeze 2 is going to set up the plot of Edge of Death 2. And everything else follows from Edge of Death 2, because in Edge of Death, the primary focus is to get half the team to already know each other. So that's going to be the first film where they're truly united. Neo, Detective Freeze, and Razor Shades will be in the same film this April. Same goes for Dallas West. He's not on a Sonic, but he's an important character and an important player, so let him be in the film as well. Alright guys, that is the awesome announcement from my side of this universe, and it's going towards yours. So let me know what you guys think of this lineup. What do you guys think of Neo on the Edge of Death, Detective Freeze, Darkness Over Shadowcast, which is actually going to be a mystery adventure. Trust me, it's going to... and Detective Freeze isn't called Detective Freeze just for style. He is an actual detective. And that's the premise of that film. It's going to show him as an actual detective. And then it's going to be all leading up to this awesome film, Edge of Death United. And I really hope you like what we're going to go with this. Oh, and if you guys are wondering what films, original films I'm going to be releasing as well, well, I already got 4 planned. I am releasing, Zombie Takeover Part 3, Live Action Zelda Part 3, the Assassin's Creed movie, and, Kevin's film. And that's all I have announced. 7 movies already announced. Just hope we can get these done a lot quicker and more organized than before. Well, these things are gonna be made right after my molars are removed and after I take my midterm exams. So I really have no excuse not to make these films unless, like, for whatever reason, I get the same trouble as I did for the verses. But wish me luck on that. All right, peace out up in here.